Grief is real, and I didn't realize that until just now in my 50s. So, as you know, people live, people die, situations happen, they come and go. And throughout life, we are supposed to experience grief. We are supposed to process it. It's supposed to be felt. It's supposed to go through your body, and then it's released and you move on. But what if you never realized that grief is really even real? From me growing up, from when I was little, I experienced my parents getting a divorce. I've experienced pets dying. As I got older, teenage years on up, I've experienced grandparents passing away, aunts, uncles. I have even been married and divorced 2 times. And throughout my life, I have never really grieved. I've never really experienced grief or what that is until November of 2025, when my dog, my pet of 16 years, when I had to put him to sleep right before Thanksgiving. Now, my dog's name is Max, and Max was a Morkie. He's a Maltese and Yorkie mix. And he had been with me for 16 beautiful years. We've traveled together, we've moved across states together. He was like the best companion, the best dog ever that you could ever have. He never barked. He just wanted to be loved. That's it. And when I had to put him to sleep, that was the hardest thing, first of all, in my life that I ever had to do in my life. And I have done a lot in my life. I've got multiple degrees. I owned businesses, and that right there was what really hit me. So when this happened, I found myself going through a depression. I found myself not wanting to do anything, not, because I'm so used to just moving on. I'm one of those high achieving women. I'm always in my head. I'm always in my masculine. I know that, life, there's living and dying and life moves on and you just got to get shit done and you just got to keep it moving. Don't show emotions. That's how we roll. You're just supposed to keep moving. But when my dog passed away, that was like the one of the points in my life where I really actually realized that grief is real because my body started doing some really crazy shit, y'all. Like and things that I couldn't even process. Obviously, I didn't realize it until I was speaking to my therapist. And, she was letting me know, hey, Mel, you are grieving. Like you're grieving the death of your dog. You're grieving that you had to put him to sleep. That right there is huge in and of itself, making that decision. And so which is crazy, at 54 years old, which is now, okay, I have experienced my first experience with actual grief and how it moves through your body, how your body process it, what you're actually supposed to, kind of do to get it moving through your body and releasing and not holding all of that in because I am that person is I am so used to holding things in. I've been very, numb pretty much all my life. I not really emotional because I always felt that being emotional is it's vulnerability, right? It's weakness. It's, you know, making you feel, like you don't have things together and we're supposed to always have things together. And from a young age, I've always had to have things together. I grew up pretty fast. I took care of, a younger brother when my mom was working and going to school, things like that. And so I always had to suck it up and just get by. And I don't think it was necessarily a negative thing per se. because obviously it made me, the woman that I am today and with all the accomplishments that I have today. But yet it didn't make me really, really feminine, meaning like really emotional, really being able to feel my feelings and learning how to express my feelings and learning how to, even in relationships, be that, that person that's still a little bit vulnerable and, able to express their feelings and ask for what they need and things like that. So, since I've been working on myself and I've been doing a lot of inner work, and I have, I'm Reiki certified, I'm somatic healing certified, I do yoga and meditation, and things like that. I host, retreats for women, and all of that has really helped me today with the grief that I am still experiencing from the loss of my beloved dog. I decided I wanted to start this YouTube channel because I feel like at this day and age, when you're over 50, you have to understand where you came from. You have to understand your traumas and your triggers. You have to do the inner work if you really want to move through life with more peace and more joy. And so I said, you know what? If I'm just now feeling grief at 54 years old, what if there's other women out there that are experiencing the same thing and don't know what the heck and don't know how to move through it? Because you can't move past it. And that's one of the biggest things ever is grief. You need to move through it. You need to have your body flow through it. You need to let it out. You need to process it because it's just not going to go away. And if you kind of want to will it away, or, like I said, when we're always so in our masculine and we're always thinking and, I can just not think about it, I can just make it go away. That doesn't make it go away. That just kind of suppresses it and puts it way down deep inside of you. And when that happens, it's going to come up one day and it's going to come up in a way that you might not even understand and you might not even know how to process it at that point. So I figured that if I'm going through this, there's got to be other women like me that are going through it. And let's go through it together. Let's, talk about it and let's, figure out how to move that energy through our bodies so that, the memory or, whatever we are grieving, and I say the memory, because it could be anything. If you're grieving a divorce, which, like I said, I'm married twice and I've never grieved my divorces, I should say, or grieving, the passing of a loved one, that is a memory that you're working through that you will not, have that person with you anymore. And if you're grieving the loss of, a beloved animal that you've had for so many years in your life that, you've, been there for them and they've been there for you. And you have to learn how to work that through your body so that then you can move on and be okay with yourself. So I decided to start this channel for all of those women out there who are over 50 and there's things going on. There's things that you might want to experience. There's things in your body that you're, maybe are changing, or you just want to work, you just want to do the inner work, but you're not sure of how to do it. That is this channel. This channel is for you all. And also, too, it's my therapy because I can get out there and I can talk about my life and I can let how I've been working through everything and, who I am, why I'm here, and all of that good stuff. So, if any of this has resonated with you, please please share, of course, hit that subscribe button because you guys, I'm going to come to you weekly for right now. We might get, do more, in the future, but I'll be posting videos weekly and, hit the bell icon so that you know when a video is being posted. And last but not least, I am Mel Charisse, and this is Change Your Lifestyle and You Change Your Life. Until next time.